Arkansas is blessed with an abundance of water. It's often said that our stream network is the lifeblood of the state. Many of these Arkansas streams are designated as extraordinary resource waters, or waters with values, such as scenic beauty, social and recreational, and scientific. Many of these streams are damaged each year by a practice that's been accepted for generations in Arkansas. In-stream gravel mining has been used in Arkansas mostly because of its ready access and low or no cost. Ralph Fort, a district fisheries biologist with the Game and Fish Commission, has worked in northwest Arkansas for over 20 years and has seen a lot of changes in the streams.
When I first started working these rivers, pollution from our sewage plants was the big issue. We spent a lot of money and effort nationwide cleaning those things up, and now we've begun to focus in the last 10 or 15 years on non-point sources of pollution, mostly from agricultural areas. What we're finding out in the last few years is that the gravel dredging is worse on the stream than either one of the other two forms of pollution put together.
Steve Goff, a hydrologist and former Arkansan, works now as a water resource consultant. He has been studying streams for over 20 years.
Well, I often hear the argument that it's okay to mine gravel from a stream because it's a renewable resource. There's a lot of gravel coming down. You dig the hole or mine out the channel, it tends to fill right back up with gravel. That's not necessarily true. This is a model.
During the course of his research, Steve has constructed a model that demonstrates the different ways a stream behaves, including the effects of in-stream gravel mining.
When we go in and take gravel out or mine gravel out of the channel, like so, you can see immediately the river adjusts upstream here, and gravel is eroded, gravel and soil to refill that hole. And as we continue to mine here, you'll see this bank becoming more and more unstable. You see gravel is moving back in to fill this hole, but a lot of it is coming from the land immediately upstream of the gravel mining operation. Well, we have to remember that streams tend to be somewhat naturally stable. There's a balance between the amount of water and the gravel that's flowing in a stream and the stream banks themselves. They tend to balance out. That's why we don't see things like waterfalls in streams in Arkansas. When we go in and alter that balance by digging a hole, for example, for a gravel mine, we create a section there that's not in balance with the adjacent sections of stream. And so what we'll often see is instability in that area, often downstream, and even upstream of that disturbance we'll see problems.
There is also a delicate balance between the pools and the riffles in the stream system.
I've constructed this simple model here to demonstrate that balance between the pools and the riffles. When man comes in and alters that situation with say in-stream gravel mining, it upsets that balance, and the stream itself tries to re-achieve that equilibrium during the next high water event and every high water event after that until it stabilizes again.
In 1992, the Department of Pollution Control and Ecology shot this videotape of a project on the Mulberry River. A low water bridge was constructed where the water was about 6 feet deep, and the river had been straightened and channelized for about 300 feet upstream. In the spring of 1993, the Mulberry had rearranged the stream bed, with gravel and sediment completely refilling the channelization work in an attempt to regain its balance. Looking upstream, major signs of erosion and sloughing are evident.
Gravel mining is causing our streams to be much wider and shallower than they're supposed to be. There are so many gravel mining sites now on our streams in northwest Arkansas, in fact probably throughout the Ozarks, that the stream never has an opportunity to fully recover as an effect of head cutting upstream and transport of sediments downstream and the on-site disturbances.
Art Brown has been observing Ozark streams for over 20 years. In that time, he has also noticed the delicate balance or harmony the stream system requires.
These gravel bed streams are predictable in their channel structure in that they'll have a riffle, that is an accumulated gravel bed load, every 5 to 7 bankful channel widths. So anytime you take out one of those riffles, the stream has got to move around all the gravel in that reach for several miles to get them distributed correctly again. The thing that I want to say today is that gravel mining is responsible for most of the sedimentation problems that we have in this part of the world right now. I see these streams degrading yearly because of this phenomenon. Where there used to be riffles, there are now just places that are knee-deep at base flow. And the organisms don't like it there, and the riffle can't act like a filter. These gravel bed loads are just like a filter in the stream, but these streams now have too few filters, too few places to grow fish food organisms, and these large, shallow pools instead.
Certain living organisms, such as insects, live in the spaces between rocks in the stream bed. If the stream bed is full of sediment and other material, such as the case downstream from an in-stream gravel mine, the insects have no place to live and either die or go downstream. Without food, the fish also leave.
We've been collecting fish population data and conducting fish population estimates to evaluate the impact of gravel mining on stream systems. And what I mean by that is that on the Kings River, on the Saline River, on the Cattle River, on War Eagle Creek, a number of streams all throughout Arkansas, we've been seeing less species of fish in the areas below gravel mines as opposed to above them. And what we've done is we've evaluated the fish population above and below these gravel mine areas, and what we're seeing basically is that your sensitive fish species, such as your smallmouth bass, rock bass, and other species, they fall out or they become much less abundant in the areas below a gravel mining operation. And so that affects the diversity of the system, but it's also going to affect the average angler because he's going to be able to catch fewer smallmouth bass, fewer rock bass, fewer of these fish that he's accustomed to catching these streams, and why they're so famous. Ozark streams and Ouachita streams are famous for their smallmouth bass populations. You're going to be catching less of these, and they're going to be replaced somewhat by silt-tolerant species such as the carp, green sunfishes, and other species that's more tolerant to silt. So it's just going to be a less enjoyable experience.